Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. Today we're going to do a Tales of Aria market update. We're not going to add in Unlimited yet. I think next week we'll probably add in Unlimited. We're still waiting for boxes to get from distribution to stores. There's just not enough on the market to have an actual representation of the prices of things. So we're just going to do Tales of Aria First Edition again. Unlimited is kind of trickling out. It's being used for the skirmish events this season. It is going to be allocated to LGSs and be moving into LGSs here pretty soon, I think. So we will start including that whenever it's more readily available. My guess is next week. It might not be for the week after, though. We'll just kind of see what happens on the market. But yeah, we have Tales of Aria market update. And let's hop in and see what we're dealing with and see where the box prices are. Again, if you want access to all this information as a collection tracker, head on over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG, where you can get access to this collection tracker, updates every time I do a video like this for each set. Then it also gets you 10% off over at the Midtown Merchant once a month for an order there. So let's hop in and talk about things. Thank you so much to the patrons. You really allow me to make this content, and it's a lot of fun. So let's see where we're at. So boxes started out at about $150. It quickly dropped down to the $100 price point. Now we're sitting about $68, so we're actually up from last week. We kind of dipped into the $90 range last week, and we're actually sitting at $68. They're kind of all over the place. Over on eBay, you've got bids that ended at $68. This is an unlimited box for $76. You've got some of that popping up. $110, $112. TCG Player was at about, there's one for $92. TCG Player was at about $100. So anywhere from $95 to $105 I think would be an appropriate price point. I put $98 just because that's kind of the most recent sale over on the good old eBay. And so no surprise there, I don't think. You're still seeing a bunch of people scoop them up and try to fill out their collection. I'm guessing that a lot of those people have the boxes that they're going to want, but a lot of people are saying, hey, a first edition box under $100 is a steal. I'm going to buy it. We'll see what happens when Unlimited comes out, especially as you look at the EV of the boxes. So let's see if we can beat the EV here if you're opening up a box or case and look at the rest of the cards. Currently, you've got the Fable, the Corsham Crossroads of Elements. So this card started off at about $1,300, dropped down to $500 the next week, and it's been floating around the $580 was what dropped down, but it's been floating around $500. It had a little spike up to $625. There was a little buyout, but now we're sitting about $425. Let's show you over on the good old eBay. $425. There was a few sales on TCG Player for $450. I think currently it's offered for $435 or something like that. So yeah, you've got, it's a little soft, a little bit in the $500 range. I think if you were buying over on Facebook, you'd be seeing them at about $425 as well. And so that's why we went with that price. Interesting to see that. A case is about the price of a Fable. That seems to be what we see in the market. I think long term that will kind of shift, and the Fable will be, as boxes are opened and as the rarity of a case, goes up. I think the that kind of shifts, but currently that seems to be where we're gravitating towards. So this makes sense, a lot of sense to me. At $425, I think that's a healthy price. Between $425 and $475 probably is be something I'd be willing to pay if I was in the market for one. That's down 11%. I would say you can make an argument for like $450, so it's not down quite that much. Looking at the legendaries, we're down 15% across the board. These again are all over the place. All these cards, there's sales that are all over the place. I try to take kind of like the average and not necessarily just the low. So this is Rampart, the Ram's Head. You can see 170, 155. 160. So I went with 165 on the price update. 172, 210. This one sold for 335. They're just all over the place. It's a little bit hard to track down exactly what they would technically be worth, but there's another one for 170, 180. That was actually last week on that 180. So I would say about 165, 170 upwards to 180 if you're getting desperate. I would not be paying 335 for one, but that seems to be where the price point are. And that's across the board on these. They're kind of all over the place. TCG Player is a little bit more consistent, but also slightly higher, but not that much higher. Maybe like $5 to $10, maybe $5 higher. So Crown of Seeds at 150, Heart of Ice at 130, Shock Charmers 150, Rampart, like I said, 165, New Horizon 180, and Spellbound Creepers at 125. That puts everything down about 15% here. Looking at the cold foils, the non-legendaries, The Majestics are actually, floating pretty well. Duskblade is actually up. I think people getting ready for Blitz season are picking that up as a spec. You've got Pulse of Volthaven seeing incredible action here at up 27%. Winter's Whale a little soft at minus 12%, and Pulse of Eisenloft also a little soft at minus 16%. Maybe Oldham's not doing the things that people wanted Oldham to do. So your Majestics are actually up 4%. You've got anywhere from $64 to $70. From 60 to 70, 50. With Pulse of Eisenloft. Your commons are just pretty flat, actually down 6%. I know people who are buying a lot of these. People on the market who are speccing on the cold foils who think, a cold foil common for $10, any cold foil for $10 is a great deal. I know a lot of people are buying them. I tend to think that that's pretty accurate too. I don't necessarily think it's going to go down in price, but we have seen softness every single week on these, despite those people buying those cards. We had 23%, 4%, 4%, 1%, 6%, 6%, all negative growth on the cold foil common. So kind of interesting, especially as you see cases and boxes being sold at kind of this under $100 price point. That's a price point where people are comfortable with opening boxes. And so, more boxes that people open, the more that you're going to see the market have to react to that, and more people will have to pick up cards if the prices aren't going to continue to kind of slowly just trickle down, which is kind of what we saw with Monarch too. So, all right, looking at extended art rainbow foil, the Channel Lake Frigid, there was a sale at $200, which is up 19%. So that's good, kind of back to where it was a couple weeks ago. We had a little softness down into 165. I don't want to get into speculation. I would expect that that's one of the cards that won't fluctuate too much because it's so rare and so hard to pull, and so the market just won't go up or down that much on it. Majestic rainbow foil, we're down 6%. Let's see if there's any significant numbers here on the percentages. You have Blizzard down 20%. You've got, Blizzard, maybe the Ice Lexi stuff got purchased up, and now, less people are buying it now. Flicker Wisps down 50%. Force of Nature down 15%. You've got Channel Mount Heroic down 6%. Frostlock down 11%. Blossoming Spellblade up 200%. So a card that's seeing some interest. Also, it was in the Armory kit this month for the playmat, so maybe that had something to do with it. We tend to see that happen. Like the Armory kit comes out and I don't know why. That seems like every time that happens, it happens. I don't know. Ice Storm down a little bit. I don't know that you can take home any tips from this. It kind of just seems like across the board, everything's kind of down. Your average is sitting at $3.62, which is down 6%. There's just not a ton of fluctuation in the price point of cards. There's it's hard. This is one of the harder sets, I think, to evaluate what's going on with the meta, because you have so many cards that can be used in multiple heroes and stuff. It's interesting. It's an interesting one. The regular Majestics are sitting at actually up 9% to an average of $2.87. So good to see some upward movement after a few weeks of downward pressure. We'll see what happens. I hate to say that this is a bottom, because we will see what happens when Unlimited comes out and more fruition. Again, we don't see a huge difference in Monarch First Edition and Monarch Unlimited singles for the non-foils. The foils are a different story. But there's not a huge difference in the First Edition to Unlimited. So I anticipate that this will be a similar process with Unlimited for Tales of Aria. But that being said, Endless Winter up 25%, Oak and Old up 50%, Frostlock up 200%, Blossoming Spellblade down 66%. A lot of this is like 10-15 cents, so keep that in mind. Like Fulminate's down 80%, but it's down like 5 cents because it's a 15-cent card. Not that big of a deal. Not really much to take away from that stuff. But Duskblade again up 166%. I'm guessing people are starting to think about Blitz and utilize those cards. So up 9% there to an average of 286. There's nothing really to talk about in the rainbow foils for the rares and the commons. Your rainbow foil rares are sitting at 50% or 50 cents. Common rainbow foils. Let's see if somebody is buying up the common rainbow foils from Tales of Aria yet, like they are Monarch. Down 19%. Nope. All right, here we go. EV calculation. You know what kind of is in the box. I've explained it in previous videos. It's all calculated based on the pull rates that are from LSS. This all calculates down. It gives you a box EV if you include the commons and the rares and all the cards. If you open up 40 boxes, on average, you'd be sitting at $97.42. If you're only going to be able to sell the Majestics through the Fable, and you hit a Fable and you open 40 boxes, your average box price would be $91.25. If you open up a case, so you're not going to anticipate hitting a Fable, and you sell just the Majestics through the Legendaries, you're sitting at $80.63. So even if you open a case, the box price is at $98 is not worth it to open a box if you're not thinking about the Fable. Which it's fun. Go hunt for a Fable if you want, but I just think it's important to understand the risks that you're getting yourself into if you decide to open boxes. That's how TCGs work. You rarely make your money back when opening boxes. Buy singles, blah, blah, blah. If you hit a cold foil common and you sell the Majestics and the rares and the cold foil commons, on average, you're sitting at $33 a box. So if you're just going to open up one box, I think you'd have about I would guess about a 60% chance, 65% chance that you hit just a cold foil common. So you have about 65% chance of only getting about $33 out of your box if you open up an individual box, which is why I always advocate for opening up a case if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, my suggestion to you is to go buy singles. I think that's the best way to get the most bang for your buck. But if you like opening packs, if you love cracking them, I do. I don't buy singles. I like cracking packs. That's what I do. And that works for you in your life. Then do that and know what you're getting yourself into. So anyway, hope you guys have a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. And if you want to support the channel, head on over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG, where you can get yourself a collection tracker and see the value of these collection in real time. And we'll keep doing some videos. Tomorrow we have, on Tuesday, we have a stream with the guys over from Hometown TCG and Team Kitchen Fable. We are doing a crazy brew ultimate pit fight. Every turn you get to activate a crazy brew. It's going to be a ton of fun. Can't wait for it. Hope you remember to be kind to the people around you, and we'll see you again next video.